And good afternoon here in the Netherlands, and good morning in the US, where my guest is today. We're yet on another episode of Going Beyond Your Comfort Zone. And my guest today, she got out of her comfort zone, getting up really, really early to be here with us. And she um, is she's written I don't know how many books you've written. You've been a TEDx speaker, and she brings humor back to business. Um, yeah, welcome, Lisa, and please introduce yourself to to our guests.
Good morning, and good morning for me, 5:30ish here in Minnesota, where
Yes.
it's a beautiful morning, I think. Still dark o'clock. I'm Lisa David Olson. I am the practically world famous business humorist. I'm an interactive speaker, a 3-time TEDx speaker. I've written 3 books. 2 of them are on Amazon. One is just a journal I sell on my own. I've also created a card deck of fun prompts. I love talking about it. And I am somebody who works with people to help them get to the stage, whether they are seeking the red dot of the TEDx, whether they just have questions on what the heck is a TEDx, or you want to find your message and get to the stage yourself. I love working with people to find their message.
Okay, and you find that message in humor, or is it in other ways as well, or?
It's not always humor for others. And
Mhm.
there's no judgment. It's just that's my jam. I've been a sketch comedic performer and an improv ninja for over 20 years. So I have a team of players that are actually closer to me than family. So they are my family. And we've done sketch comedy. Think Carol Burnett show where it's a sketch and then you might break out in song and then all of a sudden the lights come up and we're playing with the audience. So that's why I'm an interactive speaker. When I come to your event, I'm going to play with the audience. I'm not going to pick on the introverts. That's the LDO guarantee.
Mhm.
And we are going to have just a really good time while talking about communication from the stage to real life. That's my jam. That's my new book. For other people who want to speak, I'm going to delve into what is your message? And you tell me how far you want to talk about it. I'm thrilled to talk about how to get people to the stage or to start their book.
Okay, okay, great. Just you do improv, and you've done 3 TEDx. TEDx seems to me always a bit uh well, it's not really like improv, I don't I
No, opposite, opposite.
yeah, exactly.
Very
So
rigid,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
extremely down to the word. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, okay, okay. And how did you make that work for yourself?
I love a challenge,
Mhm.
and I drive my husband a little bit batty. It was October, I just finished my 3rd TEDx. I traveled for it. Very,
Mhm.
very lucky. It was just such a great event. And at the same time, while I'm coming back to Minnesota, I'm preparing for my book launch. So then we have the book launch. I had the news was there, my comedy troupe. We did an improv pop-up show at my launch. We
Yeah.
had toys, we had silly snacks, and it was very fun themed. And on the way home, I look at my husband and I go, "Now what?" And he just said, "Slow your roll. You don't have to keep doing stuff." I go, "Yeah, I do. There's
Uh-huh.
no cobwebs on me. There's no dust. I just go, go, go."
Mhm.
I think it's because I grew up in a traumatic home. It
Mhm.
was very traumatic. So that fight and flight is just my thing. And I will realize it and slow my roll. But for me, it's fight, flight, find the funny.
Mhm.
That's my
Okay.
escape.
Yeah.
That's my happy place.
Is that how you what was your comfort zone in your traumatic experience? If
Yeah, there's nothing you can't ask me. My first book is all about growing up in an alcoholic home. My
Mhm.
mom was a functioning alcoholic, and now I know she was treating mental illness.
Yeah.
But back then, I'm 58, so as a kid back then, you didn't know that. You just knew that after dark, things can happen. She might pull you out of bed and say, we're going to go through the garbage, or you might get blamed for something and get the belt. I say it with a lighter tone because I've told it so much.
Yeah.
I certainly, my heart goes out to anybody in that situation. And I work as an assistant in a police department now, and I see the help that kids get today that they weren't getting back then. People didn't get in your business. So my escape was comedy. My first TEDx is all about how I had a handful of pills as a teenager. And then I heard from the other room, I heard the Carol Burnett show was on. I
Mhm.
could hear the laughter from the other room. And back then, you didn't DVR. There was no VHS yet. There
Mhm.
was no replays. It wasn't you could binge watch on Netflix. You watched the show in the moment or you missed it. And
Yeah.
in that moment, I put down a handful of Darvocet. I don't even know if they make those anymore.
What
And
is that? I don't know what that
some
is.
sort of painkiller I
Okay,
got my
okay.
hands on at the house. And I put those down and I went and watched the Carol Burnett show. And therefore I say humor saved my life. It's a lighthearted way to say I made a choice.
Mhm.
I chose laughter. I could hear it. And everyone's drawn to laughter, whether you're in a restaurant and the table next to you bursts out laughing, or you're in the office
Mhm.
and you hear it in the hallway. People come out, "What's so funny out here?" You want in on it. It's because you want
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
in. You
Uh-huh.
do.
It's very contagious, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So it it saved your life, and you created like a business around it.
Yes. I mean, it took years to understand that that was my gift. It took
Mhm.
years to understand that that's my passion. And, I went through the motions of always working, always grinding. I've always worked a couple jobs, and I've always told my sons, I've worked 2 jobs since I was 14. And then came the pandemic, and I had to slow down as everyone did.
Yeah.
And I realized that working 2 jobs since I was 14 was no longer brag worthy. It hit me finally like, "Oh, that's sad. Slow down." So
Mhm.
during the pandemic, I learned to paint, and I sit and I paint, and I slowed down. I mean, I still finished a book and got my TEDx, okay, but but I didn't, I'm not working 2 jobs anymore. I certainly coach on the side, and people are passionate about learning more about TEDx and the rules of TEDx. So, I mean, if you want that, that's what I love to work on. But finding someone's message is such a joy. It's almost like for a baker who makes that perfect cake and you almost don't want to slice into it. For me, that's when this person goes, "Whoa, okay, I'm going to go forward with that message. That is mine." Because
Mhm.
everybody does have their unique thing to share.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. And what do you think it is for those people or your clients to, I mean, like if I relate to my story or if I see other people's story, they're all like, my story is not that special. I haven't been like in war or I haven't been raped or I haven't been in like whatever, it always needs to somehow seem to be like grotesque or something, it needs to be something horrendous. But there's so many people, once they start telling their let's say simpler story, if I may say it like that, I really don't want to offend anyone or
Right.
like
It's hard to not offend someone. I get it. I
yeah.
get what you're saying.
And I'm also don't want to diminish any trauma whatsoever, but
Correct.
like how people would say like the lesser intense stories, how they bring their story across.
Everybody has their own way to share things, and that's why there's so many people in an office. That's why there's so many people on a football team or a dance team. There's a reason we have teams and groups is because each unique part goes together. And even you and I could have lunch together, which would be a delight, by the way. And you and I could then write about this lunch tomorrow,
Mhm.
and our stories would not be exactly the same, would they?
Yeah.
It's so we could have been in the same moment and shared the same hour together, but yet your story and mine might sound like different days even. So that's how you know you have your own message. And, you look at what I would say to people is, what is the thing you do? What is your unique gift? Or what is that message that you not only want to stand on the top of your house and shout to the neighbors, but you
Mhm.
want to go to the top of a mountain and shout to the country or the world? What is that thing you wish people knew? It doesn't have to be a profound, I'm going to change your life. I think that's the mistake people make when they compare themselves to others. Don't
Mhm.
compare yourself, because
Oh,
then we miss out on your message.
yeah,
So
yeah.
when you don't write your book, when you don't share your story, we're missing out on it. And it's in you. And we want to know. We want to hear it, because only you can tell that story. So whether you have a passion for grooming dogs or creating a new flavor of Jello,
Mhm.
do that thing. And another thing to consider is, how can you be more creative with your message? So for me, creativity is taking two ideas and creating a new one with two ideas. Think
Okay.
about Reese's peanut butter cups. Do you have that where you live?
God, do we have that? But I know what they are, and I don't like
Okay.
them, but that's okay.
Because I talked with a gentleman on my podcast. I talked with a gentleman from Switzerland, and he didn't know about Swiss Miss Cocoa, and that was embarrassing.
Oh, okay. No, so I love chocolate. I love peanuts. I love peanut butter, but when they
Yeah.
go
So it's,
together, I'm like, I'm gone.
oh,
It,
I
it's
have to,
gone.
I'm leaving then. Goodbye. You don't like chocolate and peanut butter. I liked you before, and now look at this. We're in a fight.
Yeah, good.
Well, anyway, somebody invented, they took two ideas, put that together. Okay, so maybe you like
Put it
something.
in a orange pepper wrapper.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Yeah, yeah, right. And so then any kind of idea like that, look at most shows or
yeah,
jokes. A joke is funny because it has a twist at the end. It takes you somewhere. You think you're going this way, and all of a sudden you curve.
yeah.
So, in saying that, what are two things? One friend of mine who's a speaker is an artist,
Mhm,
really, really talented artist, Jason Kotecki, and he's also speaking.
mhm.
And he said one day it occurred to him, he never put the two things together. So now he does books with his art and speaks with his art. It's like, of course you should put your two talents together. So that's what I would say to somebody looking for their message is, what's that thing you need to shout from the mountaintop? And also, what other talents do you have that you can weave in? And that makes you very unique.
Okay. So, like, yeah, I want to move into a different different
Because of our
topic.
fight with chocolate, I understand.
So, I'm trying to be on a diet here, Lisa. I
Oh,
don't want all
life's
these
too
things.
short.
They're too good. I don't want to be. I don't want to. I can eat chocolate base and like peanut butter from the jar. It's not a problem.
Okay, I'll give
So,
you that.
yeah, by the tablespoon. Yeah, not by. Okay, good. So what do you? I mean, what do you think was like a turning point in your life or in your career where you really, like, looking back, saw that that was like a pivotal moment?
In speaking or explain?
Anything, speaking, business, work,
Oh,
life.
what was a pivotal moment for me?
Yeah, yeah.
My first of 2 divorces.
Okay.
I was with my first husband since I
Mhm.
was 17. We
Okay.
lived together quite a while, eventually got married over 5, 7 years, and then had kids. So I didn't
Okay.
even have a son until I was 30, then I had
Mhm.
my second son at 32. So late bloomer. Before kids, we were in a rock band, we were running a karate studio, everything was great. We had 2 kids, and it changed, and we were together from, like I said, when I was 17 till I was 30, and all of
Mhm.
a sudden, you know, what happened? So, that was a big piece of my life. I identified as his partner and as his work partner, and then as his, the mother of his 2 amazing sons, and we fell apart when the kids were little, and that was hard. And so
Mhm.
figuring out finances, being scared about losing my kids, all those things. Fast forward to now, that was a short-lived, awful time, and we are very good friends. We co-parented so well that I dropped the paperwork of taking his money because I remarried, and my lawyer was like, "I've never heard of this."
Mhm.
Nobody stops taking payment, but I had 2 incomes and he still had a single. So we have we're great friends, and we've still sung together since being divorced. So it's like kind of
Oh,
cool. But
wow.
yeah, he's a great guy, and my kids see that cohesive parenting,
Mhm.
even though they didn't get to grow up together in the home, but with both of us. But still, what a gift to give your kids is to say, set that aside and just be the best parents you can be and give to each other. Oh, you need them this weekend, or oh, you want me to have the, and just make things work out. And we did that. But that was a pivotal, scary, I'd say a whole year, which sounds small, but it
Mhm.
was a horrible year of being scared about my kids, my finances, all the things. So
Yeah.
that was huge. And
Mhm.
I I feel sad when people are bitter about their ex and they talk badly about their ex, because you know what? That reflects on you because you made a baby with them, or you made the choice to give your life to be with them, not give your life, but share your life with them.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
You're putting yourself down if you're putting down somebody else. That's just hard. And first I worked in a law office and saw so many traumatic, just triggered people and angry people, and you'd have to go through the lawyer to tell them they forgot to drop the boots off at daycare, and then everybody's making money. Just get along. Figure it out. You're adults. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
now I work in a police department in the day, and I still see such things like, I need police presence so I can drop off my son. It's like, wow, that's so sad. And I understand, I'm not putting them down. I'm just saying, figure your shit out, because this is your kids, it's their
Mhm.
lives.
Mhm.
So, anyway, that was a huge part when I was an adult. That was a big part of my life that changed a lot of things, but I made it.
So what was it like one of the things that you had to like give up to enable that, or was it something that you had to give up, or
Yeah, I think I gave up I lost a lot of friends during
Mhm.
that time
Okay.
that thought they had to choose a side.
Okay.
You don't have to choose a side, and just support people where they're at. And so when we were going through divorce and we were this power couple working together, performing together, all this stuff, and all of a sudden, oop, they split. We better pick which team. And what happened was he and I remained great friends. And then those friends were on the out because they didn't know where to go. What? Oh, you
Mm.
guys get along? Oh. Oh, we were picking a side. We were team this or team that.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Don't do that.
Uh,
Just, go forward.
was it strange to go back on stage for the first time again together, or was it?
Not for me. No,
Okay.
no. And yeah, we're just, I think we both just were in that spot of appreciating that we had our time together as a couple. And
Mhm.
so now I'm married for the third time.
Okay.
And my second husband and I did not have kids. But my husband today, I call him
Mhm.
my current husband. He said, don't do that. My third and final
Okay.
has always gotten along with my first husband and my second husband. So
Mhm.
I just tell people collect the whole set, because you never know when you need a fridge moved or a house painted. So always remain friends with your exes.
Yeah, I mean, this is yeah, what I've done as well, and I don't. It's what you say, It's like you chose to be with these people for a reason, and they've done what they've done, um,
Yeah.
and
And we change, don't we? We grow, we change. I know that, what is it? Loons, the birds, they mate for life.
okay.
Well, I've had loony moments.
Okay, okay. Is that like if you look back at that experience, is that an experience you would do you cherish it, or would you like to trade it in to not have, and also the lessons you learned from it, um, to not have to well, I'm saying it right. So let's say you could turn it around that it didn't happen. Would you prefer that, or do you prefer the lesson that you've learned?
Great insight. I have not looked back at the first divorce and my first husband as what I could have changed. I don't look back at that. I take that as just my journey.
Hmm.
I do look back at my childhood though and think, wow, what if I had had opportunity? And so I only made it through 10th grade because of all that was happening in my home. I was constantly sick. I had pneumonia and mono at the same time. I mean, the stress of not being able to sleep through a night, not knowing what was going on. My dad was there, but not present.
Hmm.
He had a man cave before that was a real thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I look back at that and I really am sad for that child because my imagination saved me from going bonkers, but I have 3 siblings who all went different ways. We all went very different ways to handle the trauma.
Hmm.
And I look back at if if we had been parented the same way my siblings and I parent, which was much more solid, what opportunities could we have had? What degrees could I have gained, as a younger person and things like that that I didn't get or healthier, physically healthier. So, that part to me makes me sad, and I have shared that with my dad. That why were you not present? Why did you not stop this from happening? You know? And he doesn't have a great answer. He's like, "Well, I I just did my own thing." And I'm like, "Yeah, you did. Thanks."
Uh, have you been able to forgive him, forgive yourself for that, or?
Oof. Yes. Yes, because I go forward.
Hmm.
I look out the windshield, not the rearview mirror as much as I can.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But I'd have to say no one can do that 100%. I'd have to say there's days that it kinda creeps in a little bit. Dad's still around, mom is not, but she and I did make our peace, and she did end up sober eventually through, medical experience. I did write about that in my first book, and, so we did have the talks. I am very grateful for that. She had regret, and she understood how her addiction affected everyone, and she was a beast. When she decided to quit smoking, she quit smoking. When she decided to quit drinking, she was done drinking. But unfortunately, that wasn't when we were all at home, but it was later in years, but still that's a strong, strong person.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. Um, yeah, I mean, when I look back at my life, I lost my mother when I was 12,
Ooh,
and like how life could have been different, if that hadn't happened.
yeah.
Um, if I would have turned up different, if I would have made different choices, it's like, and I'm at peace with it, or I made peace with that long, long time ago.
Mm,
But still, like sometimes you at least I have those moments where I'm really like, would I be different now? Would I be really like, would I be doing something else, or is
yes.
what I'm doing now, like my coaching, is that uh, a result of that? That
Yeah.
I want more meaning in my life, or uh, yeah, and all these experiences like create created who I am today. And I definitely also see like some like good things coming out of that, having that experience. Like I mean, for like, I could be really scared about death, for example, coming out of that experience. I am not, it really doesn't. I mean, I'm not looking forward to it, and I'm not like, I would- and I want to live another 40 years, but it's at the same time, it doesn't scare me. Where like some people are so scared about death, the moment of death, life after death, or whatever is after death, whether that is emptiness or hell or whatever,
Right.
fire,
Yeah.
whatever you think or whatever you believe, or that you'll come back as I don't know, for like as a reward or as a punishment or whatever. That doesn't bother me. It doesn't.
I'm with you on that. I
Yeah,
know. It's like it's whatever book you happen to have read, that best-selling book that is in all those big buildings, if you know what I'm saying.
yeah,
But
exactly.
I bet you were a really good mama's boy.
I think I was. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I bet you were, and she would just think you were the coolest coach around, right?
Probably, yeah, 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 yeah. I'm not probably. I'm sure she would be 100% proud.
Yes, and maybe that helps shape your compassion for others and things like that. Yeah, you're right. We can take those tragedies and build on it, or we can sit in the muck and become a bad citizen that I deal with in my day job. It's tough. We all get that chance, and then you gotta choose the path.
I I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and one of the things that they were talking about, and I just want to like hear your opinion about it, like how trauma is uh, transferred through generations.
Oh, yeah.
How and they did talk a little bit about how they recognize that pattern from like people from that went through Second World War, where like the children of these people that experienced it like had more problems, and they were like, but they weren't really like exposed to any of the trauma. But then like there's more research being done on how certain trauma has been uh, transferred to like fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth generation even. Um, and I was just curious whether you heard about it or what do you think about it, or uh,
I have not heard it put that way. It almost sounds like a way of saying trauma is genetic and passed down just like blue eyes or
mhm,
height. I don't know that I would think that way. I think because I really believe in choices. You get up in the morning and you can choose to drive your car to work or you can choose to drive your car off a cliff.
yeah,
Is that genetic? I don't know. And I think with um Eastern medicine, I've really become more in tune with that than Western medicine for sure, and all the choices that we have to be healthy and all the things that we know about food and, if there's a whole lot of ingredients on a box, we shouldn't put it in our bellies and all those things that we know. Everything's a choice, so I don't know that you can carry it on like that. When my sons were very young, I feel like they were 7 and 9-ish, I told them there's alcoholism on both sides of their family, and it's I know that's young, but I always talk to my boys in a lower level, but still educational way. I wanted them to always
mhm,
understand that that is going to be a struggle or something to be aware of, and it turned out to be a good thing that they understood these things. So, they didn't see when my mother was at her worst, but I certainly shared it, and they knew when she wasn't around, why she wasn't around, but I didn't let them see it. So, I don't know, it's that whole nature nurture thing really, and choices.
yeah.
Gosh, I'm sure people could argue on that for days on end.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. No, no, I'm sure. Yeah, no, I'm sure you can argue about
That's
that.
thought provoking.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, I was listening to it and it did kind of made sense to me. I mean, it's not like the level or the experience isn't always exactly the same going through generations, but like, yeah, you get like, if let's like the people that went in war, they were not maybe not they were hiding their emotions to protect their children, and now their children are hiding their emotions and they don't even relate it to that. And that's kind of like how it's more nurture than nature. But then like that can be, I mean, that's of course not as traumatic as going through war, but it's still like it's passed on. And then like uh yeah, alcohol is big in my families as well. And um I had my, how shall I say, my struggle with it as well.
Mhm.
Um, where I mean, I wasn't an alcoholic, but
Right.
there were binge drinking moments. I was young, it's like
Yep.
it's what you do, and now
It's the social.
yeah, exactly. And now I've given up completely. Um,
Mm. Wow.
and
Good for you.
yeah, yeah, I'm really happy about it and just what it does for me, for my brain and for my energy. And but that I mean that came with that didn't come easy,
No.
especially in this society where it's so ever present and it's so intertwined with everything we celebrate. Uh,
Yes, right, right. It's everywhere, and you can go out to a restaurant, and they're like, "Oh, just have one." Don't be
yeah,
that friend. Don't ever be that friend. Just have one. Don't. You have no clue what that person is going through. Just stay in your own lane.
yeah. Yeah, the other day I was like, I was also like I was having a, um, a debating club at my house, I was, and I
Is
was
that how you say argument?
no, 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 no. We organized like a debate,
I love it.
and it was so then there was drinks, and I was like, and I was pouring drinks, and I was like, because that's the hospitable thing to do. And I'm like, you don't even like. I mean, okay, it's fine that you don't that I mean that I don't drink, but I don't even know. Maybe these people came here just to have one drink, and I'm just like forcing them to, or like imposing, or whatever you want to call it. Say,
Making it
oh,
so
have a,
available.
have
Yeah.
another one, and then I make it difficult for them to say no in front of seven other people, where it's like, and it's so delicate, it's so
That's an amazing angle that you just explained. You're just being the gracious host, and you're not wanting them to be loaded, but that's a really good angle. You're right. That's just social, and that's
yeah,
unfortunate.
well,
And how
yeah,
about, "Here's the gummies. Here you go. Have a gummy.
yeah,
Have a gummy and an Uber ride home."
well, yeah, exactly. You mean the loaded gummies or the
Oh,
regular
yeah.
one? Yeah,
Hell
okay,
yeah.
yeah, 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 okay. Yeah, God,
Yeah, we
um,
went there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No problem, no problem, no problem. No, but it's just like the awareness around alcohol, I find, or the non-awareness or the absence of, it's just like it's mind-blowing.
My son ended up with pancreatitis, and as much as I thought warning them younger would be this, "Okay, I'll stay away from it." It became his social, and he's a bartender,
Mhm.
and at around 24, he ended up with pancreatitis and in the hospital for days. No one stays in the hospital for days. You have a baby and you're out the next day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It was crushing. He's
Mhm,
okay now, but
mhm.
he's sober since
Okay,
that stay, and he
okay,
still bartends.
okay.
I don't get it, but it's still his
Uh-huh.
social is to be around people, but he doesn't have the same friends at all. He said, "Wow, people are idiots when they drink. They think they're so funny, but they're loud and they're in your face and all the things." At that in the 20s in the bars, and so he's got the strong tenacity. He has the alcoholism as my mother, but also that tenacity of, when I quit, I'm done. And it's pretty amazing. He doesn't care if you drink around him or whatever, but he can't,
Yeah,
because his body said, "No, I'm going to shut you down." It's pretty serious. So, yeah, you're right. It's a very social thing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know. I mean, I was also like, it's also one of the most addictive substances. It's right up there with heroin and 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 cocaine and nicotine and that kind of stuff. And it's we just sell it,
Yeah,
but heroin is not okay. Cocaine is not okay, but
making
alcohol,
vapes look pretty for the kids. Oh,
Yeah.
it's strawberry. Yay. Ugh. Here you go, eighth grader. Have a vape. It's strawberry flavored.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it comes in a nice color as well.
It's cute.
Oh, okay, okay. Good. Another like out of all this, like looking back, uh change is constant, you know. How do you see yourself resisting change? Do you? And if you do, how? Even the positive ones, because we tend to uh, resist positive. We want positive change, but at the same time, we resist it. Everything should be the same.
Right. I think I've been through so many changes between 3 husbands,
Uh-huh.
living in different states, different careers, although I stay long in careers. I was at a hospital for 16 years now. I've been in a police department almost 9. So I don't I think that's my generation is to stay in the same job, and I don't feel that I resist change that much, although if my husband was sitting next to me, I bet he would be able to point some things out. I'm
Uh-huh.
very particular on my home. I'm
Yeah.
very particular on where things go,
Uh-huh.
but I don't know if that's a change thing or just a dash of OCD. So I don't know.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't see myself as resisting. I think it's my improv brain says
Mhm.
everything is new and yes and go forward, keep
Yeah.
trying.
Okay. Okay.
I don't see change that way. Even with holidays, and we share 5 adult sons. We don't say it's got to be this day at that time. Be here. We first go. Where else do you have to be? We're always going to be the cool parents. Where else do you have to be? All right. Well, we'll make it work this other day. We're chill with that because we grew up in that generation where the in-laws were always at each other. We want Christmas on Christmas Day, that kind of thing. Nah, we'll do it when it all works,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It doesn't to me it doesn't matter whether it's the first day, the first or even the second day before Christmas. It's now a 4 day weekend. It's like really
Yes,
is it really about the Monday now? You have a 4 day
right.
weekend. It's like there's 4 days.
I just want to see you and eat together and be silly. And we always play games for prizes, and it's going to be silly fun and things like that. That's what it's about. So don't be fighting. It has to be the same day. So no, I don't see myself doing that, but I'm sure my husband would be able to point something out. Let's
Go,
go wake him up.
yeah. That's what I was gonna say. Go wake him up.
Exactly. Nah, I'm okay.
Talk on Lisa. This is your chance.
Yeah, he would wake
Okay.
up and do that, but nah.
Great, great, great. How did you see that humor changed, let's say, uh, like people that you worked with or like organizations or teams? Um, how did you, yeah, see her humor change how the way they worked or
Are you saying when I worked as younger or
no, when you applied
oh,
humor,
to
you know,
teams?
yes.
Gotcha. When I go into a group, my most recent one was last week. I did a keynote for a realty company,
Mhm.
and it was so fun. And, they're all sitting in their chairs just looking like, okay, this is day 1 of our 3-day training. And they're just looking at me. And the first thing I ask, and I'm asking you right now, by a show of hands, how many people are here? Oh, you didn't put your hand up. You're not here, boss? Oh, here he is. So I start with things like that as a warm up, and immediately you
Yeah,
smile because you
uh,
realize, "Oh, I'm here. Oh, I'm here." Like,
yeah,
"Are you here mentally?"
yeah,
Okay. Doing things like that opens your mind and
mhm.
instantly connects you. So I'll try something. You're sitting, yes?
Yes,
So are you able to cross your right leg over your left?
yes,
Okay. So from here, and anybody else that wants to try this, go ahead. If you're able to cross your right leg over your left while you're sitting, now with your foot, go in a clockwise circle. Now I know most people are wearing an Apple Watch and you don't have the old dials. Go ahead. Are you doing a circle with your foot in a clockwise pattern?
yes. I started anti-clockwise, but I'm doing clockwise now.
We're not in Australia. Okay, so keep going with the clockwise. Now, which hand do you write with? Put that hand up and keep doing the circle with your ankle.
Mhm.
Now, with your dominant hand, draw a 6 in the air and keep doing your ankle What happened to your ankle?
It stopped. Yeah. It went the other way.
Yes, and you can't stop it. So this is my way of opening people's brains and going,
Uh,
"All right, now you shook your Etch-a-Sketch, you've wiped off the whiteboard, now we're ready for new ideas." Humor it raises your endorphins, lowers your blood pressure,
mhm,
releases nature's serotonin,
mhm.
all these things, as well as connecting us as community. So when we laugh together as we're all trying to draw a six and keep our foot going the same direction, because for those of you not trying it, your foot changes direction and I don't know why. And
It did.
so you kind of go, I'm patting and I'm rubbing. And so when you do those things, we're instantly together because we just experienced it together and we laugh together.
Mhm.
And I'd love to incorporate things from my book. Oh, look, here's a copy now.
All
I
right.
like to
Good.
incorporate things from
Yeah.
my book because my 20 plus years of performing and
Mhm.
how that teaches communication to people, the better listening, letting your partner have the spotlight, the things I learned from stage, from improv, and what that means for your team. Are you listening to learn? Are you just waiting your turn to speak? Could you ask a follow up question for whatever your teammate just said? Could you ask a follow up question to whatever your partner just said or your child? Are we really, really engaged in listening? It is such a point and click and scroll world that we're just, scattermind. And even squirrels look more calm these days. We can't even make fun of squirrels anymore for being scattered because we're all over the place. So that's what I ask people is to really work on your listening. That's just one part of the book that I go into, but it's also how to find your message, why you need to be a speaker, and
Mhm.
how to be brave enough to take the stage. Because I love telling people tips and tricks of how to find your bravery to stand in front of a group and share a message. But there's also a quiz in here to find out if you're funny. People
Okay.
like that.
Oh, I want to do that quiz. Um, yeah, you were talking and about questions and about silence and about improv and like one of the things that I did in improv as well, and we were like we were playing this scene of husband and wife, and we were we were asked to be like really like scream and to call each other names, and she was just like giving it to me. It's like I got like vomited on, and I was like, and I had like no idea how to respond. And I took a moment, and then I was just like, oh, wow, I wasn't expecting that. And then I said to her, and then I said to her, well, you're really just like your mother.
Oh,
And I was just like,
that's
and then
hilarious.
the teacher was like, "What was that with the silence?" She was like, "How did you plan that?" And I was like, "I couldn't plan it. It was just too much. I had to think." And then I just came up with this. And she was like, "Yeah, that was classic. That was like
It
so
was.
so mean and so
But you
like,
balanced out her verbal
yeah,
loudness. You balanced it by owning that moment with one sentence. That is a beautiful response. That's hilarious. Not if I was the woman, but
no.
that's,
It was, yeah, I don't know. It was just like, but it was
that's
also like,
gold.
yeah, like listen, give yourself a break to come with a response instead of like, I need to say something, I need to say something, otherwise I won't be heard. It's like, no, have the silence and then say something, and you will be heard. Whatever you say doesn't, I mean, as you know, in improv, you, uh, yes, and then you deal with what you get, you accept it, and then if you don't accept it, then it doesn't work.
That's called a roadblock. If I don't accept that you told me I'm a blue poodle at the pizza place, if I don't accept that and I say, no, I'm not, boom, there's no
Yeah.
scene now. There's no
Mhm.
scene.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you don't feel good because I
Mhm.
just shut you down.
Yeah.
Same thing with regular conversation at the office, at your parties, sounds like you got quite the party house. So I caught that. But no, you mentioned one party, but
Yeah.
But
It's
now you're
very
party
quiet
boy.
here.
So, but that's the thing. You got to yes and in a sense of not saying those words, but help drive a conversation forward. Help drive a story forward, or whatever you're working on. Let that other person feel good because it usually comes back to you. And you're right. If the other person is going on, they're not going to listen to you anyway. So let them go.
Mhm.
Just let them blab
Yeah, yeah,
until they
yeah.
get sick of their own voice.
Absolutely. And it's just real. And I mean, also like, yes, and really just add to what other people are saying and keep adding and adding and adding back and forth. It works.
Yeah. What if you learned something new today?
Yeah,
That'd be neat. Why not?
absolutely. So, like, we're going to wrap it up a bit. Which doesn't mean we're finished in 1 minute, but what is it that you want to create for your future? Or where you want to take your future? What do you want to do? What do you set out?
I'm excited to do more speaking, and
Mhm,
I am on this path of, I've got my TEDx's out there. I've had 3 different journeys with TEDx. Each one is so unique, and it's such an honor to be accepted in that. So if people ever want info on that, I love to help them too. But I'm excited to have a message that can help corporate, and I can't wait to get back in and share more, get into more places, and just go and play,
mhm,
between all the tricks up my sleeve, but as well as really talking communication. The feedback I get is my team connected on a different level. I've got people that didn't even really know each other's names. I've got people trading recipes now that didn't know they cooked. All these things. I connect people on the the people-y level, the regular human level, not you're in accounting and you're in HR. So I know you do numbers and you work with policies. We're still people.
yeah,
You
yeah, yeah.
know, Susie loves to walk her cat, and Bill makes cakes shaped like race cars. I mean, why not? And nobody knows that till I come in and I get us all connected. And the workplace becomes more cohesive because great leaders know that a connected team is a productive team.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Um, I think that's a great a great line to finish with. Where can people reach you and what for? Feel free to make as much promotion for yourself as you want right now.
Yes, just Google search my name, Lisa David Olson. And I have David in there because my name is so common. I stole my husband's middle name. And you'll find my TEDx's, my books on Amazon. It's From the Spotlight to Real Life.
Mhm.
And that is my newest book. And also, if you just go to my Facebook page, of course, I verbally vomit everything up on there. And I'm on LinkedIn, apparently, and Instagram. And I have a Facebook group called Counterclockwise, and it's all just sharing memes and jokes and nothing political, no body shaming, no rated R. It's all light because we need more punchlines and less headlines.
Okay. Oh, I like that one. Okay, Lisa. I mean, it was really a delight to have this conversation with you about humor, um, about some of your struggles, and how you dealt with that. It was really a pleasant to have you. I will be here next week again with a different guest, beyond your comfort zone. Thank you very much.
It was nice waking up with you, and I'll see you on my podcast later in the week.
Absolutely, I will be there. See you
Thank
then.
you. Bye
Bye.
bye.